Welcome to the Road is Dead podcast. I'm your host, Rob Curtis. I am joined here in the studio with
Leah Sanda.
And joining us remotely, we have
Tim Strelecki.
And we have not recorded in quite a while.
It's been a minute.
For a bunch of different reasons, really, to be honest with you. I think mainly on my end, it's the winter and it sucks. I always underappreciate how bad the winter sucks here in terms of just my motivation, my mentality, stuff like that. So my apologies. Then again, neither one of you two were necessarily beating down my door to record an episode. So
yeah, sorry, I've been gone a lot. So yeah,
gone a lot in
Tucson.
Mm-hmm.
So what have you been doing in Tucson? Because I know everyone wants to know.
Riding my bike, racing. Well, one race. So, gosh, I don't know when the last time was I was on a podcast here, but
last time we had one, except for the one Tim.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that. We spent the whole Christmas holidays down there. All of the family came down. Did a ton of hiking with family and got to show my kids all around Tucson. They'd never been to the desert before, and it was super fun watching them walk around, seeing saguaros and everything for the first time. And then came home for a little bit in early January and went back down there to race a mountain bike race on January 17th. It was a 10-hour race that each loop was 13 miles. So it's going to be a little under an hour, depending on how fast you are. I was originally asked if I would be interested in subbing in for a woman that didn't want to do it. And I thought about it and said, well, that's kind of a stupid thing for me to try to do in January. I certainly don't have that kind of fitness because I'd be looking at doing at least 3 hour plus laps of a mountain bike race. But then I said, why not? It'll give me some purpose to train for the next 2.5 weeks, which is really all the time I had for it. But then she kind of reneged. And I'm glad she did because I really wanted her to do the race. But then kind of at the last minute, I threw together a co-ed team with Nate and Matt Knowles. And, Nate's just coming off of his season break and Matt's an old fart like me. So I thought, well, this will be an interesting matchup between the fast kid and the two slow old farts. Not that I'm that slow, but this time of year, I definitely have no speed. But we had a lot of fun, and Nate said he wanted to front load the whole race. Initially, he wanted to do all 4 of his laps. So we figured we're probably going to be a 9-lap race. I mean, he can't do more than 4 laps because Matt and I would have to do 2 at least. So he was going to do all 4 first laps in a row, just bang him out. But then after his second lap, he came through and was like, I want to break after this lap. So I geared up and got ready to go out. So he did 3. I went out and did 1, came back in, and then Nate went back out for a hot lap. He jumped onto his hardtail, which he had brought. And he did that 1 last lap on his hardtail and ripped, I think, the fastest lap of the whole race. And handed it over to Matt and I to finish out the rest of it. And we proceeded to go from 16 minutes in the lead to 6th place out of 13 teams. So, yeah. But fun was had. Certainly a little jump start on building some fitness into this year. Never done anything like this before. It was all in daylight, which is nice. I didn't have to worry about riding at night in the dark, and it was super fun. So that's kind of what I've been up to.
24 hours at Old Pueblo.
Yeah, exactly. That kind of scares me, the whole idea of mountain biking in the dark. So this was basically from sun up to sundown.
Nice.
And it was fun. The course had one area that was kind of technical with a rocky, steep climb, and the rest of it was tame. I would say definitely, maybe not prairie path tame, but not a whole lot harder than that. certainly less going on than even like Palos. I mean, there was a few little ravines and stuff here and there, but nothing that was even remotely technical. And
Just
never
good flow.
just super good flow, just flowy kitty litter through the desert. It's kind of fun, pretty flat, except for that one rocky
Don't
climb.
catch a cactus with your shoulder.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole time. It's just like, just don't stare at the cactus you don't want to crash into, because then you'll crash into it. So just keep, watching where I want the bike to go and remembering all my mountain bike rules for cornering and loose over hard, because that's everything down there.
What are those rules? Because I don't know them, I guess.
For me,
I'm looking up a pre-read.
Disconnect my butt from the saddle and push the bike, and keep my weight.
Do you lean it, or do you try to keep the bike?
I lean the bike, but I keep me up on top of over the bike, if that makes any sense. But I'm not, my butt's off the saddle so that I can push the bike, not up a lot, but and there's a little drift. You can get a little bit of lift, and sometimes I would like tap the rear brake, and it would kind of like get a little. It'll help you get through the tight turns a little bit.
The amount of people that I talk to when I try to give advice for whatever don't understand that your bike moves more when your ass is out of the saddle and you're standing up than when you're sitting down. Every time I tell them that to stand up through a corner, your bike has more mobility side to side. They're like, huh? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Think about it.
I mean, you can turn a bike a heck of a lot faster by leaning it more, but if you just lean yourself with the bike, you're going to lose all your traction.
Yeah, you just gotta stand up through the corners, people.
Now, I know we've discussed this here before, but I don't remember what the answers were. So I don't really feel like I know. I found myself when I'm trying to explain how to corner to some people, and I'm definitely not an expert in cornering, but when it comes to like cross corners, there are times when I get in situations where I feel like I need to keep the bike as upright as possible and throw my body to have the traction. And there's other times where I feel like I need to lean the bike as much as possible and have my body upright over, not on the saddle, and I don't really understand, I guess. I just do it intuitively, I think. I don't really understand what those situations are. Does that make sense to anybody?
I know what you're talking about, and I've wrestled with that a little bit over the years. What are your thoughts on that, Tim?
You just have more control over the bike and more ability to turn the bike when you're standing up through a corner than when you're sitting down. If you're sitting down and trying to turn, your bike's going to push. Where if you stand up and you actually have the ability to turn the bike, steer it but lean it as well. So you can lean it, you can get your tires to bite in more around the corner, you can corner more aggressively than if you were to sit down. You have more mobility in your body and more mobility with the bike. But if you're not comfortable with it takes some practice.
It does take intentional practice. Yeah, exactly. And
there's all sorts of drills and things you can do to teach yourself how to do it.
It's interesting because I think when I go over soft materials, like if it's really slick, it's when I find myself trying to keep the bike as upright as possible.
Yeah.
And trying to put my body off to counterbalance so I'm not putting that much lateral stress on the bike itself. And I think I picked that up from, I don't know if you guys remember Amanda Batty, downhiller, used to post a lot of stuff, and she would make fun of roadies for wanting to lean their bike all the time. And she would show pictures of her, going through turns where the bike is upright and she's throwing her weight, and I know that I think that's when I do that. And there's other times when I think I lean the bike because the terrain is off camber or what have you. And I'm putting my weight into the inside of the turn or trying to put my weight in the direction it needs to go on the exit when I'm getting out of there or some such. I don't know. But like I said, I think I do it intuitively, and I definitely don't do it great. But I just feel like, it's like art. I know it when I see it, like when I do it.
Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about, Rob, because there are times where I think I do what you're talking about, where I shift my body weight off to the side to gently turn the bike on slipperier surfaces. I probably do that.
When I have
I mean,
more
it's-
traction, I think I lean the bike and my body stays upright, and I try to just to grab that side knob grip in grass or whatever and just throw it around the turn.
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to go rip a gravel corner standing up. You'd be pretty stupid to go you do that. You need all the traction you could get, so it's better if you sit down.
You've seen
Yeah,
me
that's-
just about eat it in gravel turns, so you know.
I mean, it all depends on really what, what the turn itself looks like. What does it look like before the turn? What does the middle of the turn look like? What does the exit of the turn look like? Is there camber? Is there no camber? Is it flat? Is it an actual berm? So all these circumstances factor into how you turn the bike, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway,
No, I get that. But thank you. I was kind of wondering if it was
topic
just
for
me
another
or
day.
well, every day's another day.
Yeah.
Right.
So
All right, so that's me, or that's you.
that's
Sorry.
me. Yeah.
Nice. Nothing like a
I-
little VO2 in January, right?
Oh, no kidding. Yeah, that was yeah, my laps I was like 106, 109 and then 112. So that's pretty much
What kind of elevation did they have there? I mean, as far as on track, not like the elevation you were at. Is Tucson at elevation?
Tucson's, yeah, in the vicinity of 2,500 feet elevation.
That's good. Yeah, just
So,
enough.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it was probably a few hundred feet on each lap, if that.
That's not bad.
No, it wasn't bad. It was a pretty flat course, except, I mean, there was definitely some elevation, but it wasn't a ton. I mean, it was probably at least 300, probably not more than 600.
Nice. 13-mile loop is good though.
Yeah.
Is it that takes substantially longer on a mountain bike? Yes. I obviously don't do a ton of mountain bike riding.
I
Yes and
mean,
no.
honestly, 80% of it, 70% of it, you could do on a gravel bike.
Okay.
So it was fast. Like a lot of people are doing, 13 miles an hour for the loop. Average speed is not uncommon out there. I think mine were around 12. So it's pretty fast for mountain bike.
Is it that imperative, like your tire pressure setup and everything else, like it is in gravel and or cross? Or if so, are you shooting for your pressure to be the pressure you need at the most technical area, or are you finding the balance and going like harder just to rip those long flat sections?
Okay. Well, funny.
Or do you just set a pressure and just go with it?
Well,
all the
first
time.
of all, how much, what am I trying to say? What's the puncture risk?
Okay, so so I have really just started playing around with mountain biking down there, and there's a lot of trails that are very jagged, rocky. The first couple times I went out on the rocky trails, I felt like I was getting kicked all over the place. I'm like, my tire pressure's too high.
Too hard.
So I lowered it, and I got it to a point where it was absolutely amazing. I just felt like I could plow right through everything, and the tires were just eating everything up, and I felt so much more confident.
No inserts?
But
No inserts, right?
initially I did not. I have inserts in them now.
Nice.
Wasn't sure that I trusted my gauge. I have a gauge down there on my pump that doesn't really give, whether or not you could be at 15 psi or 20 psi and not know. I mean, it's like somewhere in that vicinity, and I'm like, I really kind of want to know. I feel like for me, probably in the 17 to 18 psi range is probably about where I normally ride when I'm up here, but I didn't trust my gauge, and I used one person's pressure gauge, and it measured really low compared to the pump. And I was like,
so you were using a pump pressure gauge.
So I was, and I decided just to go with, okay, this is what I've been riding at, this level of squishiness, and this is what's comfortable for me. So I'm just going to do this. And I raced on that.
That's the best thing you could do.
I was talking to Nate, and I was like, hey, can you go squish my tires and tell me what you think? Because I don't know if I'm running these too low, too high. And he went over and grabbed it, and he's like, holy shit, you ride them this soft? And I was like, yeah, it's been feeling good for me. And he's like, you don't rim strike? And I'm like, no, I've never rim struck. But then keep in mind, I'm not as aggressive as you
Right.
are, Nate.
It's like, Nate, I have some finesse.
Uh,
Nate has to be like at least plus 5 psi to what anyone else is running.
right. So since then, I have gotten 3 different digital pressure gauges that all agree
Really?
that my pressure that I had been riding and racing on was at 13.5 to 14 psi.
Wow.
And that's a little on the low side.
Well,
And
not for spin knees.
Here, and to Nate's point, to what you just said, Tim, is I would be a little worried about cuts on these rocks.
Yeah.
So I have decided to set them at about 17 front, 18 rear.
Mhm.
And I did go out and do a ride on that at that pressure, and that felt really good. So I think we're just going to roll with that.
Now this is with the inserts.
This is with inserts. So I had Matt put inserts in. I put the Vittori. He put the Vittoria ones in. He said they're super easy. What tires?
Yeah, what tires do you have?
I have a Maxxis Forester 2.4 on the front and a Recon on the rear.
Okay.
Same size front and rear.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, 2.4, you can get away with some pretty low pressures. Like that's what I would use on my bike out here. Like I run Aspen,
Yeah.
2.4 Aspens, and I'm usually in the 17, 18 range.
Yeah.
And it's
So
probably a little too squishy for me, but I like it.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm lucky I didn't get any punctures on the rocks and stuff, but having that low pressure, it was like, man, those tires grabbed a hold of everything. It was great. I mean, because everything's just hard and rocky there. So it was nice. But yeah, there's a little risk factor with the whole sidewall cuts and stuff. So I decided to go up. But even with the inserts in here, it just, it feels pretty good.
Nice. Anything else from Tucson?
Heading back down there in February for the Tucson Bicycle Classic, but I am helping put that one on. So I'm the race committee for that. So, hey, if anybody wants to come down to Tucson to race that, they've extended it to a 4-day or a 4-race series now. So they added a circuit race. So it's a time trial, road race, circuit race, and crit.
You hear that, everybody?
Road, right?
You pick up on that, Curtis? She's slowly planting her roots out west. She got 1 foot out the door.
Oh yeah, no, this is the first time I've seen her in like a month and a half.
No, I told you when you bought that house in Tucson. It's a matter of time.
Yeah, this is more gently working my husband into more and more time down there. It's about a 2-3 year process, I think, before we can. I need him to be able to stay down there.
I'll give you to the end of the cross season before you're fully in Arizona full time.
It would be my goal to spend all winter down there this next winter. But
this time next year, you are an Arizona resident permanently.
If 100%, if I can, I will. But it really depends. Again, I'm not going to. I do have this man that I'm married to that I have to take into consideration. So I am splitting my time back and forth.
Yeah. No, and now that you're mixed in with the Tucson Bicycle Classic, your foot's in the door there. Your foot's going to get in another door, and pretty soon, you got a zip code starting with a 9.
Yeah, it does. No, it is weird when I come back here because I keep reaching for the clutch in my SUV here because I drive a stick down in Tucson, and I keep reaching for things in drawers in my kitchen that are where they are in Tucson, and because my muscle memory is all geared to that now, so it's kind of weird.
Don't tell me you bought a bike to leave in Arizona, or probably like 5 bikes to leave in Arizona. Did you buy
3
a
or
car to just leave it in the garage there?
Yes.
Oh my God.
She's not the only one.
Oh my God. All right, next topic.
Yeah.
So we're not going to discuss the motorcycles either?
Oh, do we need to?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Wow. Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah. Good for you.
While the rest of us are shoveling snow with one fucking hand.
Jeez.
You can
Which
be
is a perfect segue into, okay, yeah, Tim, how have you been doing?
you
Yeah.
can be joy in your backyard bungalow, fucker. No, me, I'm fine. I'm fine. No, really. I don't know.
Seems like it.
No, I'm good. I'm good, really. I mean, you know, 1 year older, another injury, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Did
Nobody
you have a
cares.
birthday? When is your birthday?
January 13th.
I did not know that.
Oh my God! Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
Yeah,
How did I not know that?
because I don't publicize it.
Yeah.
I kind of had a feeling. Yeah. So
So he's making notes.
No, I don't. I'm not the
Mm.
one to go. I'm not the
Do
one
you
to go on
do?
social
do
media
are
and go,
you? Are
"Hey, it's
you?
my birthday."
Do you? Are you a I hate my birthday person, or do you like your birthday? Do you celebrate it?
No, I don't celebrate it because it's no different than any other day. I mean, yeah, I came into the world, but you know what? I don't feel, it's not like birthdays aren't like I feel this way one day, then it's my birthday, and I still feel the same in the days that follow after it. It's no big deal.
I
Just
completely
another
agree with
day,
you. And that's the way I've kind of always been.
you know?
I really enjoyed birthdays when I was a kid. And then I just got to this point where it was like, I don't like being the center of attention. I don't want to be the
Yeah,
fuss,
I don't
and
want people.
I don't want any of that.
Yeah, I don't want people to stress out about trying to have a party, and it's like whatever, man. Like I don't care. I
But
don't care.
then I hit my 50th. And when I had my 50, this is your 50th.
Hmm.
Oh my
Well,
God!
Jesus, we should have had a party or something.
Why?
Why
Why do
not?
people make such a big deal out of
Well, I
50?
will
You
say,
know what? Throw me a fucking birthday party when I'm 100.
Okay.
I will be long
Sold.
dead, so I will not be able to do that.
Well,
There's a
that's
great
by your
meme
own
I sent.
that's by your own choice.
There's a great meme that I sent to Rich the other day, and it was like, I don't want to start a beef or anything, but if you don't come to my funeral, I'm not going to attend yours. It's along those lines. So I will say though that for my 50th, a lot of things changed, and it was I think because, and I don't, you're completely different. You can just correct anything that I say here, but for me, I found that I don't like people making a fuss. I somehow feel weirdly obligated, I think, when people do make a fuss, because it's like, okay, well, you did this for me. Now I really need to do something for you, because that's just how I am. And that's why I didn't like it. And it's like, you know what? I'm good. Just don't worry about me and let's move on. And then this last year, I was able to, during my 50th, I was able to actually, all right, this person's calling for the second time. I got to grab this.
No, yeah, for me, even though turning 50, the thing with the 50 is like this for me. I spent like a good, my birthday came and went, but then I spent like a good day probably going obsessing with the fact that first of all, I'm psyched that I actually made it to 50 because of the lifestyle I used to live. I thought I would never make it to 40. Um, so I checked that box and was like, cool, I made it to 50, Hopefully I got another 50 years to go. But the thing that was like sitting with me is there's zero opportunity to ever go back. Ever. And that's
Yeah.
just, I don't know why. I don't know why. It's just like, I don't know, just sitting in my brain. Like there'll never, ever be a moment where you could even go back 1 year. Like
Right.
time's just moving on. So don't worry about all the shit that happened in the past because that's the past. You can't go there. You have the memories, but you guys got to focus ahead.
Yeah.
And for some weird reason, I just had this weird feeling that it just felt uncomfortable that I'll never be able to go and undo something dumb I may have done in the past.
We
You
all.
know?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
just, I don't know why. I don't know why. It was just like, I'll never have that opportunity, but let's just forget about that and focus on what's ahead. So hopefully the next, couple decades are a lot more meaningful.
Yeah. I would say that at 50, I didn't really, I mean, I had a lot of fun. We had a big party, went out dancing in the city and everything and had a good time. But I didn't care about the fact that I was turning 50. I was like, I felt amazing. I felt really good. This one, turning 58, bugged me for
Hmm.
some reason. And I think it's because it's too damn close to 60.
Yeah, you're
And I
close to
know a lot
60.
of people in their 60s. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking, oh man, is that, oh shit.
For me, 50 was, I played an active role in it. I made the celebration. I invited friends and just had fun. And, it was fun. And since then, being able to connect with friends on my birthday is really cool to me. And I really do enjoy it. But turning 50, I was really hesitant about it. Um, I didn't like it at first. And then I loved it. Absolutely loved it. The whole year being 50 was just awesome. Turning 51, I went, I'm fucking old. I'm really old now. And I have, it was easy to remember my age last year. Now I have no idea how old I am again. We're in that
Yeah.
that weird space. And I am
Yeah.
really, I'm starting to realize everybody around me is in their 40s, and they've got, it's just weird. It's hitting me every day how it's like either I'm never going to retire or it is too late for me to figure out what I always thought I would have in retirement. If the bike industry isn't doing great, if all of these companies that I have and run and am a part of go completely belly up, which is a day-to-day occurrence, um, what am I doing? I can't go get a job as an engineer anymore. What am I going to do? Work at a bike company? And then on top of that, it's like, and I'm 50, and I'm seeing all these people that are peers of mine that went to high school with me or whatever that are the same age that are starting to say, geez, I think I really was age discriminated against in that job interview, and I'm not.
Mhm.
They're not calling me.
Yeah.
And it is a real thing, and it does start to happen at 50.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that, but you know what? I, I don't know. Like I was telling Leah, I was psyched to make it to 50. Like I woke up on the morning of my birthday and I was like, "Fuck, you made it. All right."
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thought I would have been dead long ago, but I made it. So I'm here. Um, okay, let's just focus on the future and living the second half a little better. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means, you know, I kind of was having the feeling like, all right, I checked the box as a good bike racer. I don't even give a fuck about that anymore, but deep down inside, I can't shed that. That's who I am. That's my identity. And that's pretty pathetic. Um, and to your point, Rob, like you can't, I mean, I have a GED. I never went to college. Like, what am I going to go do? And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll go work in a garden center. I'll be around flowers all day. I don't care. I'll mow lawns. Just do something that makes me happy. Not that something that society thinks that I have to fit in some little bucket. I'm going to go do something that makes me happy. That's what it's all about. And that's what, people like us have. We have the ability to do what makes us happy and the wherewithal to know what that is. Where the younger generation, they're just jumping from job to job to fill a void. They don't understand. They're just chasing the money. They're going to go and say, "This is where I am now. I want to make X amount of money." Now, granted, you can make a bazillion fucking dollars with a YouTube channel. So kudos to those that can do that.
I can tell you we are not making $1 billion with this YouTube channel. I just want to throw that out there, just in case people were wondering.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. So it's huh, 50s. It's just a number. It's just a number. I think that's what people obsess about that a lot with their birthdays. There's like, I'm another year older. Yeah, but tell me you feel distinctly different today than you did the day before your birthday. You don't.
Yeah.
You feel the same. It's a mindset,
Definitely
you know.
mindset.
It's a mindset thing. Like
I
I
will
feel
say that
old.
I will say that my body has changed in the last couple of years in that I don't recover like I used to, and
Hmm. Yeah.
things that normally wouldn't have been a problem are starting to present more of an issue. like
Hmm.
it's the off season, so there's not as much going on at the shop, obviously.
Hmm.
And this is the time of year where I traditionally take time off the bike. Last year, I didn't really do that. I tried to ride as much as I could, but it seemed
Hmm.
like there are more opportunities to get outside. This year's been really bad. Um, I've gotten out on the fat bike some, but not consistently enough. So I switched to my other hobby, which is working on my Model A. And at this time of year, working on the Model A, getting underneath it takes way more work than it's ever taken in the past. And I am way sorer the day after working on that car than I was even 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Some of it, honestly, is my ribs from the wreck in August. They still hurt a lot, and they're still bugging me.
Hmm.
I saw the doctor that worked on me the 2 times I went in for X-rays. He was at Julie's annual work party, and he
Hmm.
came right up and he like gave me a hug, but he's like, on that side, not this side. I know. And
Hmm.
he goes, how's it going? And I goes, like, honestly, I can still feel it, and I still get pain from it quite a bit. And he's like, yeah, no, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like, ugh, when is
Ribs
this
take
ever going to go
forever.
away?
Yeah. Ribs
I
take
mean, it's been
forever.
6 months, 7 months, 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a long time. I mean, the only one that's doing it right is Leah. She's the one that's slinging the fucking weights around and pushing the sled, and she's keeping her muscles strong and her joints strong. And that was my plan this year until I went and flipped over the handlebars and
So
ended
I
up
did not
breaking
hear
my
the
neck.
story. I have missed out on this.
I'm so sorry telling the story. All right.
Sorry.
No, 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 it's fine. I'll give you the
You'll
Cliff
get
Notes
it
here.
on here, and then no one in the Chicagoland area is going to ask you again because they listen to
So
this. Everybody
December
listens.
December 23rd, a couple days in there we had warmer weather. We had some bad weather, snow, ice, rain, freeze. So the prairie path was in like spring thaw conditions with, some ice danger. I was doing a ride outside, and I was coming to the portion where it crosses, heading west, and where it crosses Prince Crossing. For those
Okay.
locals that know
Yeah.
it, you know what I'm talking about. And I was humming along right before it turns into asphalt and goes towards the road. A giant chunk of mud flew under my sunglasses and completely like over my left eye, and I couldn't see it. And I was like blinking obsessively to get it out, and I couldn't get it out, couldn't get it out. I'm like, all right, I got to pull over. So I'm going over to the side of the trail, and as I went off to the side of the trail, I hit a piece of ice and just crashed over the bars, flew off the side, and I think that portion of the prairie path is sloped on
Yeah.
both
Yeah.
ends. From the top of the prairie path down, I think all my weight just landed on my thumb and, bent it further than it's supposed to go. So I ended up I threw my bike onto the path, all pissed off, and then I stood up and I'm like, yeah, my thumb kind of hurts. And then I grabbed it, and, here, for those that can visually see, if you're watching us on YouTube, your thumb stops at a 90 degrees. Mine kind of just kept going. And I was like, I don't know a lot, but I know it's not supposed to do that. So I went out to the street, got on the phone, called Darcy, told her I needed to go to the hospital. And then I could ride. So I got on the road, Hawthorne Boulevard, that heads out towards the airport. And then she met me on the service road that runs by the airport, threw my bike in the car and went to the hospital. And then they took some x-rays, really didn't find anything. And so they gave me a little splint. I made an appointment to see the orthopedic surgeon that did my wrist or my arm when I broke my arm before the pandemic or during the pandemic. But that wasn't until January 5th, shitty time to have an accident right at the
Yeah.
holidays
Right in the
when
holiday.
everyone's like, on vacation. So I made my appointment, was excited to go, not excited to go, but comforted in the fact that I'm going to go see the same doctor. And then on the 24th, the nurse called me and was like, "Hey, so and so wants to see you. You need to come in here." And I was like,
Really?
yeah." And I was like, "Well, it's got to be something serious because they never ever call you back and tell you they want to see you. So that means something is wrong." So I got in to see the doctor on like the 26th, And then he showed me, we brought up my x-ray, and he's like, as soon as I saw this little portion here, I knew you needed surgery. And I'm like, what is it? And there was like a tiny little fleck of bone. Like you could barely make it out in the x-ray. I took completely overlooked it. There was some weird thing on my thumb that I think I made a post about it and I circled it. And
Yeah.
I thought it was like, there's a chunk of bone sticking out here. This has to be the problem area. And I asked him about that. He's like, oh, no, that's normal. And I was like, oh, okay. But there's a very faint little fleck of bone. And I guess when the tendon ripped away from the bone, it took a little bit of it. And then that was the telltale
Oh,
sign that I needed surgery. It was, I got surgery on January 8th. It was like an outpatient surgery. I just did it over the same place they did the surgery on my arm in Warrenville. Like an hour and a half, and then for I don't know, 4 days after that, I couldn't really do anything. But the weirdest thing, I don't know if our listeners have ever had this or you guys have ever had this, but they do something called a nerve block. So they basically, they're gonna cut your thumb open, but they numb you from your shoulder all the way to the tips of your fingers. So they go in like in between your clavicle, and they take a really long needle and they just they push it through a vein, and there's a guy administering there's a guy administering the shot, and a lady that's like counting down, because there's a certain amount of like pumps, I guess is what the terms they were using in the surgery. So they squirt a little in, push the needle, squirt a little more, push the needle, so they basically work the needle down your arm
Yeah.
to block all the feeling in your arm. So that way that, when you come out of surgery, you're not in pain, but when the block wears off, that's when your pain's going to show up. Um, so the weirdest thing was just having like a dead arm I had a dead arm for probably like 10 hours, and it's like heavy. Like you can't move it. You have to like pick it up and move
yeah.
it, and like it's just the weirdest feeling. It's the weirdest feeling to feel, you feel paralyzed, because you're just like, I
Yeah.
can't move my arm. I can't feel it. I can't move it. And it's kind of freaky. But once it wears off, everything comes back to life. Um, and thankfully, before the surgery and even after, like even to today, the pain's been like non-existent. So I'm thankful for that. But when the nerve block wore off from when I had my wrist surgery or my arm surgery, oh my God, I was in tears. The pain level was so different. But I'm on the mend. I've been going to physical therapy. I've got, I'm not going to take my brace off, but I got good mobility. I'm starting to do like little, pinching exercises. I can't get too aggressive too fast for risk of pulling it out. But I saw the doctor already. He said things are healing well. It's just a waiting game, you know. I mean, I can still, use my four fingers. I just can't, like, I can hold things. I just can't use my thumb, which is fine. But it's been a struggle to use your non-dominant hand that doesn't work because it's got an injury to it. So I've been like fumbling around like an idiot for a month and a half now.
And shoveling snow one-handed, like you
Dude,
said.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank God I bought like a nice ergonomic shovel that it's like at least I can hold it up high and kind of like, I must look like the biggest idiot when my neighbors are seeing me. I'm out there, it's like cold. I got one arm's just like completely in a jacket, and I'm like pushing the shovel one-handed. It hits the crack. It hits the crack. Yeah, you have
Oh,
good
yeah.
momentum, and then it hits a crack in the
Yeah.
sidewalk, and you're like,
Stops.
yeah, you're just like, but it's
Oh,
all, I've taken it in stride. It's like I didn't even get bummed out. I was like, well, it's the winter. I'm not doing anything.
Right.
It's not
Right.
like it happened during the season. The hardest thing is just sitting around and waiting in the early stages after surgery, just sitting around, not doing anything, being immobile. The weather.
yeah.
It's not like, when I had my other injury, it was at least like the summer. I could get out, I could walk, I could do a bunch of
Yeah.
things. Here you can't do anything because it's, colder than Antarctica here. Um,
Yeah.
so, getting back, I've been able to get back on the bike. I've been on the bike for quite a while now, and kind of working off that sausage casing feeling. So that's good. I'm almost back to normal.
Nice.
But
I still got to do
it's,
that part.
The sausage casing.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's like, it's a terrible feeling. Gets a little tighter. You're just like, oh man.
Yeah. Tell me
Oh,
about it.
yeah.
I was
Why am I-
fine.
Why are my bibs harder to get over my ass
Yeah.
than usual? Oh,
I was
can't-
fine and feeling good, and then it was probably about 2-3 weeks ago is when it started being like, ooh, shirts are feeling different.
Yeah.
Is this feeling different getting out of bed? I don't like this. I've been doing some body weight stuff,
Good.
to try to build up some strength. And
Yeah.
I was
mean, that's the
telling
thing
Leah
that-
though,
Oh, go ahead.
it's horrible that
Yeah.
so I tried some of the stuff, and I
Mhm.
knew I was going to be sore.
Yeah.
But I was actually quite surprised I was able to actually get out the number of push-ups that I thought I would be able to.
Nice.
So at least I wasn't depressed about, hey, I only made it halfway. But then
Chest to the ground? Chest to the ground? Proper?
I was like, I'm only going to do proper ones, even if
Okay.
that means I do 3, I'm only
No
going to
need to
do
do.
proper ones. It was more than 3, I'll say that.
4?
It got into double digits. I'll say
Oh,
that.
then good for you. Good for you. 10.
But it was, I was like, if I don't get at least this, I'll probably be pretty depressed about it. And I got at least that without a problem. So,
Yeah.
but after that, I was like, yeah, I give it a couple days and then I'll go back and do it again. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I can't, like my arms are killing me. My chest is killing me, like all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't think I can go back and do them again. I'm like, but that was like days ago. What's going on? I started making homemade bread. And I've always kind of wanted to do that. And I started doing it.
Kneading.
It was kneading. I did 2 days straight of just like kneading for like 20, 30 minutes at a time. And I'm sitting there going, I realized it when it was all in by my wrists and pushing away from me. And I'm like, oh, it's from the bread kneading.
Well,
So, like I said,
if the
things
business
change
is
when you get old.
Yeah, you can make a career in homesteading.
Well, homesteading. Yeah, making some videos about homesteading in
There you go.
nowhere
It's all the rage
near.
these days. Yeah.
Yeah, nowhere near the country in the middle of
Right.
Elgin, Illinois. No, I was thinking if I get okay at this whole quote unquote baking thing, I can move to West Dallas and work in Skylar's in Sam's Bakery.
Dude,
It-
that's creepy.
What? What's
That's
creepy?
creepy, dude.
No, it's at least I would know somebody that could give me a job, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's stalkerish.
Is
That's
it?
the word I'm looking for. Stalkerish, yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're a fan of their cycling, right?
But,
They just-
but he knows them personally.
Yeah, to
so
me,
it's
they're
not-
just people I know.
Oh, okay.
To be
Yeah,
honest with
that's
you,
true. I forgot about that. True.
it's not like there's like a weird fandom or anything like that going on. They really are. Yeah. Well, I like them. I like watching them race. I don't obsess about them racing anymore, and haven't for quite a long time. But they're like, quite honestly, they're 2 kids that I knew
Yeah.
as kids and watched grow up and race, and was able to help sponsor them at different times.
Yeah.
Know their dad well, that kind of thing. To where, and they're ubiquitous when it comes to the cycling scene around here. So, and even though they've raced at the high levels that they have, and Skylar's been in Europe and everything else like that, by God, if I'm at the same venue as her and she even remotely sees me, she makes it a point to stop and talk and hang out and everything. So it's from the point of view of, at least I know somebody that's in baking that might take pity on me and give me a job, because if it was any bakery around here, they'd be like, yeah, no, I don't think so.
Sky, let me show you how good I can knead bread here. This will be my tryout.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. What else is going on?
No, so I knew the surgery happened, and I saw your cryptic post on about the bone chip, and I just knew enough to be like, all right, he's going through something, and I'm just gonna check in, make sure he's doing okay every now and then, but I'll give him his space.
No,
I don't need him to tell me the story.
There's people when something like this happens, they feel the need to tell the whole world. I'm not that person. Not that person. I'll tell you if you ask, but I'm not going to go put it out there.
Yeah, I used to be that. You guys can disagree with me, but I used to be the first one for sure, where anything happened, I had to tell the whole world. And I think in the last handful of years since the pandemic, I think I've started becoming let me have a few days go by and see how I really feel about something. And if I
Yeah.
think it's an interesting post for other people that are friends of mine, then maybe I'll make it.
Yeah.
And now I'm posting about like, hey, we went to go see a show, or,
Yeah.
here's something cool that, one of my kids did, that kind of
I,
thing.
I would rather post about shit that's gone wrong in my life and how
For sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I struggled through it to let people know that if you're going through the same thing, you'll be all
It
right.
gets better.
Yeah,
Yeah, 100%. I get
like
that.
that. I don't need to be like, oh, send me a broken heart emoji because you're sad for me. I don't need that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't want that.
I don't like
I don't
vague
want that.
booking.
I don't want your pity.
I don't like the pity begging
Yeah.
and the vague booking. And you familiar with what I
You
mean by
know,
that? When people make the
no.
cryptic vague posts that are just
Oh
like,
yeah.
well, here goes nothing, you know. Oh,
With no
gee, why? What's
context.
going on? It's like, and I hate to say that because my sister is the queen of vague booking. You
Oh
know,
shit, I guess I did that. I guess I
you
did that
you
with my
you
little
vague booked it when you posted the hand thing,
ah son of
but
a
I
bitch.
wasn't gonna. I That's the thing. I think that's my instinct is I don't
Now I'm a
engage
hypocrite.
in vague booking.
Ah,
So,
son of a bitch. Ah,
well,
well,
I'm glad I could straighten that out for you.
another thing to work on. Uh,
Ah.
It is what it is.
So what's coming up? Rob or Tim, you guys got anything fun planned?
I have
I
zero
personally got to
plans.
figure out how to get back on the bike because I've taken my
Swing a
time
leg
off.
over it.
I know, I understand. I've taken my time off. This is that I don't want to get on a trainer thing.
Mhm.
Uh, and I will do anything to avoid the trainer. So in my head, even though it's been single digits, in my head, I'm going, well, let me go to the shop, clear out a little section sometime. I'm just going to just gear up, jump in the car, and go ride my fat bike at Paul Douglas. And that has been the plan every day for the last like 2.5 weeks. And the number of times I've done it, it's been zero.
I
So,
think I think there's nothing wrong with the trainer. You just have to find a way to make it fun for you. Whatever that looks like.
I
Whatever.
know, I know.
Mhm.
If you want to just sit and do interval blocks, do interval blocks. If you want to go on Zwift and do that. If you
That's
want to, go on Ruvi or there's so many different platforms nowadays. Just find what works for you and what makes you happy when you're kind of in an unhappy situation.
yeah.
But you have to
I
do something.
I have to do something, and that's where the other night I just got on the treadmill and ran because we do have a 5K coming up in like a month that I've got to do.
Mm.
Um, but it's like 5Ks coming up. You've got Rough Road is coming up. Barry, Rough Road, Barry, Frostbite 40. There's a fat bike race next weekend.
This Saturday.
Atwood.
Huge ass
Oh,
is
I haven't done
Saturday.
the huge ass ones, and I don't plan on starting right now. But there's an Atwood out in Rockford
Hmm.
fat bike series, and I signed up for one of those in the past, or I was going to do one, and then that morning it was just horrible weather-wise, and I am much more equipped to do it now if the weather falls apart. But I have a feeling it's actually going to be decent weather, so I think I'm going to go do the fat bike race
I
over
think
in Atwood.
if you don't have the ability to get out and ride a fat bike in the winter, or you're not one that really wants to deal with these, very super cold temperatures, I think a good mindset to have is think about what it feels like when you don't ride and then you get like the weather clears and then you go outside and how shitty you feel when you first get outside
Yeah.
because you haven't spent even 5 to 6 hours cumulatively in a week just riding
Hmm.
the trainer.
Right.
Riding the
Yeah.
trainer and just getting the feel for it and going through the motions and maybe putting in a little tiny block of training or doing some efforts or whatever it looks like for you is a lot easier to do when you realize that, hey, I don't want to go outside and feel like shit for the first time. Or even if you
Yeah.
get an opportunity to ride your fat bike outside, riding your fat bike
That's what I have
outside
been doing that.
with some stuff with some already rides in your legs indoors is going to feel a lot better than if you just haven't been riding.
I talk as though I haven't ridden at all. I actually have ridden quite a bit. It's really only the last 2 weeks that just
Yeah.
kind of got to the point where it was like unrideable for me, or I just didn't want to. I have been getting out. I've been getting on the path quite a bit, and even taking the fat bike on the path. Even riding 10 miles on it, because that's actually a bit of a haul. This Atwood Fat Bike Series is presented by the Rockford Park District, and it's February 15th.
Yeah.
Starts at like 10 a.m., I think. So they have a beginner, intermediate, and expert, I think.
Well, Leah, when you move to Arizona, you're not going to need a fat bike. Maybe I'll just get yours.
Maybe you will. Maybe you will.
I mean, we geared it up. We put some studded tires on there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Rich did go out on it. Did I tell you about that? But I took Rich out on it over to Paul Douglas, and he has not ridden at all. And on top of that, it was like the thick, heavy snow that we had for a while that was really good trail-wise. It was like the best it's been ever.
Yeah.
And but he's never ridden a fat bike. He hasn't been riding at all for a very long time. I think the last ride he said he did was Night Bison, and or whatever we call it now. What do we call
So
it
he
now?
was
Dust to dust.
Dust to Dusk.
So he was miserable.
Yeah, and we got. I kind of jumped at Paul Douglas. I hit the parking lot. I jumped on the bike. It was so cold. I just wanted to just beeline it for the woods. And as soon as I got in the woods, I was just going to sit up because the wind was hitting you, heading that direction. And so I did that, but I left him in the dust. And so when he got to the woods, he was not happy, just in general. Like, hey, dude, I don't have it. I can't do this. His heart rate was pegged. He's on some meds that limit him.
Okay.
And his heart rate was pegged. And he was in the smallest gear. He was borrowing Leah's bike. The reason why I mentioned that. And I put studs on there, so it had supreme grip. But he was in the smallest gear to second smallest gear pretty much the entire time. And at one point, we stopped like a bunch of times because he's like, I've got to get a second to have my heart rate come down.
Yeah.
And at one point, I had these plans of going and doing this and going and doing that. And he's like, I don't have that in me, man. He goes, I don't have an hour in me, let alone an hour and a half. But I think we did close to an hour and a half, all said and done.
Nice.
But just took a few breaks in there.
Yeah.
So, I get it. But, he's looking for one if anybody's getting rid of one because he has a feeling he's going to use it more over at Palos down by him. And what spring something?
Oh, Waterfall Glen.
Waterfall Glen.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
He does a lot of riding through there during the year, so he wants to get out there, this time of year. So I will say fat bike has gotten me out more often, than not having it.
And Tim, literally anytime you want to borrow my bike and just go check it out and go for a play around somewhere and see what it's all about, you're welcome to.
She had it here at the shop so that people could borrow it. And then she ended up taking it home so that she could, like one morning, she was going to come out to Paul Douglas and ride it. She didn't do that. And then she left the bike at home when she went to Arizona the last time. And I was like, it's not my bike, so I can't be upset about that. And I have my own bike, but there were like 4 opportunities where it was like, Andy Sauter wanted to borrow it, or somebody else wanted to borrow it.
Okay.
I was like,
okay. So when I leave again, I will drop it off.
That's fine. But if anybody borrows it, I'm not responsible for that frame breaking because it's already broken once.
It's fine.
You're not supposed to tell them that, Rob.
Yeah. It's a super light frame, man.
Yeah. It's a nice bike. It might be a little small for you, Tim, but maybe not. I don't know.
No, it's not going to be too small for Tim.
No, I err on the side of small bikes.
Yeah.
I like.
On top of that, I'm in a medium, right, on mine right now, and quite honestly, I could go for the smaller version.
What are you? Are you on
Uh,
a Farley, Rob? Are you
I'm
riding
on
a
a
Farley?
Farley, a much older Farley, but it was one somebody bought and used for a very short period of time and sold it to somebody else. He ran it for like a year, and then he was like
Nice.
came into the shop and was like, "Do you know anybody that needs a fat bike?" And I said, "What size?" And he goes, "Yours." And I'm like, and
Okay.
that was right. That was either 2020 or 2021. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Oh, it was 2021 because we were here in this
Mm-hmm.
shop, and it was one of these where at that time nobody could find any bikes, and I knew for the price he offered me, I
Hmm.
was like, even if I don't like it, I can flip this thing and actually make like $600 on it. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do it. And
Yeah. Yeah.
so I did it, and I've had it ever since. I put new brakes on it. I put a new drivetrain last year, and by new, it's a another buddy. You guys know me. I don't mountain bike per se, so I don't have parts sitting around. But a buddy that was on our team was moving out of the area, big mountain biker, and he just dumped parts on me. And I went through all that stuff, and I had he had an XTR 2x10 group that had everything I needed except for front derailleur because there's a billion different mounts for front derailleurs. But I just threw that on last year. I rode it night and day different, even from Dior up to that
Yeah.
XTR group, night and day different. And that thing has been just completely surefire ever since then. And we went riding out at Palos one time with a group, and we got to the top of a really steep climb or whatever, and everyone's like, gasping, doing and trying to recover. And I was like, hey, but I got that thing that none of you guys have. Like, what's that? I go, a small chain ring.
Yep.
So I'm still riding a 2x.
2 by for life.
Dude, I got no problems with it, even on that fat bike, man. Because
11 speed
you
for
get
life.
in one ring, and it's good for the conditions, and you just kind of stay in that ring.
Yeah.
Like even if something as inane as Paul Douglas, I have one ring for one side of the venue and a different
Hmm.
ring for the other side of the venue.
Yeah.
And it just puts me in the right range of cogs that I want, and they're all very close together, so
Yeah.
it's kind of nice. So 2x for life, everybody. But
Yeah.
anyway, apart from that, road wise, we got some stuff coming up. We got the Midwest Series. What are they calling it?
Midwest Cup.
Oh, the Midwest Cup. So you got 4 races as part of that: Cobb Park, Elmhurst, um, the Fat and Skinny,
Fat Skinny, and then Grand Rapids.
Grand Rapids. So the one in Michigan, I can't ever remember. I've never been to it.
Fast and Furious, maybe something like that. I don't know.
I don't know.
Forget the name. I was just looking at it yesterday.
So we are committed. I know the Elmhurst. I was talking to Radcliffe yesterday morning. They are definitely committed for Elmhurst, and already have tons of stuff in motion. I don't know how much he's putting out at this point, but it's a big ask, and I think a lot of his operational expenses may have gone up this year. So I think it really behooves everybody, if you're in the Chicagoland area or Illinois or even Wisconsin and want to race road, it's worth coming down and checking out the Elmhurst race, along with Cobb Park, obviously. I always love racing Cobb Park, and I still plan on probably doing that this year. So we'll see.
Nice.
Apart from that, I've just been in the blues hole, like a lot of people are at this time of year. It's just there's no business, there's nothing going on, and I'm at the time when me, I don't like going to the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
It's time.
Come on, we got a fun week coming up. We've got team party on Saturday.
Yep.
We've got Cabda Wednesday and Thursday, and then winter bike swap the following weekend. So we got all kinds of fun stuff coming.
Sure. And then a fat bike race the weekend after that I would like to do. So now I'm staring down the barrel of 2 weeks before actual races. So maybe I should get on the bike.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Panic training, never better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, panic training is better than no training.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, maybe I've been toying with the idea of running a marathon.
Neat.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
A marathon? Which one?
I don't know. I don't know.
You got to do the Chicago one, but that's in September.
October. Is it September, October?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to be one of 50,000.
You don't want to be one of 50,000? So you don't want to go do a marathon?
Well, there's tons of marathons you can do. They're just not like, your New York City or your Boston or your Chicago or your any other world marathon. There's a lot of local little marathons you could do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just too many people.
Yeah, no, I get that. I don't
even like being in the waiting room at the doctor's office with 10 other people. I don't want to run a marathon with 55,000.
I'm dying laughing here. I totally get that.
I mean, I'd love to, but it's a big commitment.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot out of you. Running's not easy on your body.
Yeah, especially a marathon. I know really good friend, used to be on our team, now lives in Arizona, but Aaron Hampton, he took a year where he decided he was going to run a marathon, and I think he did a bet with like Brian Kulak or something like that, and ended up doing the Chicago Marathon, and that was the year that it was so hot that they called it and like canceled it like most of the way through, and he had like less than 4 miles left or something like that. He had trained the entire year for it. I mean, he set aside an entire year of training, and he did it the right way, and he was in the right shape to do it. But he was like, I'm never going to do this again because the commitment is just too high. To really do it.
You don't want to just, you could half-ass it and do it, but I don't want to.
Yeah, and be hurt at the end of it.
I want to do it well.
Yeah, yeah.
No appeal to like slaying 10K distance and seeing how fast you can go or anything like that?
10Ks or half marathons? Or is it just
10 I just did 10 miles on a treadmill the other day.
Nice. Well, not nice because I wouldn't want to do 10 miles on a treadmill, but I hear you.
No, I mean, I have all these times from years past in my head, but I know to get back there it would take monumental efforts, and I'm just not that young anymore. I don't know if I could break 3, that would be cool.
Nice.
Go under 3, but that's
pushing.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work. That's a lot of dedication. It's not easy.
Yeah, and that's everything. That's nutrition. That's
But even with like the long distance stuff like marathons, I'd always preferred the half marathon. Because it's one that you could like go 95% for the majority of the distance and then like flounder your way in for like the last mile or survive the last mile or two. And that's always how I was with triathlons too. Like the Ironman distance, when I did those, it was like survival, just get to the end. But like when I did Olympic distance, it was like, okay, I could go full gas for this whole time in every discipline. And then I enjoyed that. That was like perfect. It's like sweet spot.
That's kind of the way I approach gravel. In terms of, it seems like everybody wants to do the 100K or whatever, and I always choose a short one because I'm like, I always use the example. I've never gotten to the end of Little Apple and thought to myself, gee, I could go for another loop. I'm always just dumping it out there, and it being out there for a couple hours, that's plenty fine for me.
Yeah, and that was the thing too. To piggyback off what you're saying, Rob, when I was into the gravel thing, I did a couple of the long ones, but I quickly realized like I will never ever do anything. I don't want to do 100 miles on gravel. I just don't.
Yeah.
100K is perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect for me,
And I could see that. I mean, if I was in better fitness or raced even more, then 100K would be fine. But pretty much any venue, they have a super long option, and then they have a medium option, which is the most popular, and then they have a shorter option. And I just find that I really enjoy the shorter ones. And it's not that I don't ever feel like I'm doing less. I get to the end of it and like, oh, I definitely experienced that, and I'm not really missing out on anything. I just kind of get bummed when people start talking about hey, do you remember at the whatever section of this trail where it did this? It's like, oh, I don't remember. Yeah, that wasn't on your course, Rob. Yeah, okay.
No,
it's that part I don't like.
Yeah, but that's as long as you got what you got what you wanted out of the distance you did, and you had fun and you were able to do your best, that's all that matters. Some people
For
love
sure.
going for 135 miles. Me, not me. I don't like that. I want to be able to go full gas from start to finish and feel good about what I did at the end. Not like get to a point where you're just like, I don't want to be out here anymore, but I have 65 more miles to go. Great. No, that's where I'm
Yeah,
looking
no,
for
thank
people.
you.
Pick me
Yeah.
up. Pick me
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. I feel like 3 to 4 hours is my maximum for comfort level for duration on anything.
Yeah,
2 to 3 is to me that's where I can push it and race it.
yeah,
And
yeah. I don't have 40 hours a week to train for those absurd distances of gravel.
yeah.
I
You know,
I used to we used to say back in the day, even to be a decent cat 4, you need to be putting in about 10 hours a week. So that was cat 3, cat 4, 10 hours a week at a minimum. To
uh,
be honest with you, even the fastest I've ever been, I don't think I've ever really gotten many weeks where I've gotten 10 or over. I'm
and
just
that's the
never
thing.
there.
I think that adage could. I think that training model, if you will, could still hold up. But now you have social media, and you have YouTube, and everyone's getting their training advice from people that they have no clue about who they are as a rider or a racer, but they just think that they have to do that.
Yeah.
And you don't have to do it. Like I did less hours this in 2025 than I did the years before, and I was in better shape. I just
Yeah.
you got to use your time wisely, especially as you age.
As you age, yeah.
These kids are gonna come in like the average lifespan of a professional cyclist is gonna be they're gonna quit at 24 years old because they get in it, they finally get a shot at 18, and they just get roasted for 6 years, and they lose the fun, they get injured, they get burnt out, and they're retired by 24. And then what? All because the coach said they had to do
Gravel.
7,000 hours a week training. Well, yeah, but even I think even now, and this is just my opinion, I think gravel is going to have a huge shift in the distances in the next couple
Yeah,
of
I
years.
agree. I agree.
I think that the tip of the spear, the Keegans and the Alexis and those guys, they're once they pull back and aren't like at the head anymore, I think gravel will evolve in distance wise. And I think it'll be easier to manage shorter distances. It'll be safer to manage shorter distances, and it'll be better for everybody because there's no doubt about it. It's like it's not the spirit of gravel anymore. It's full on racing.
Yeah.
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 That's
Yeah.
been well, and speaking of which, I know we're running
Who
about where we
cares?
usually finish, but
Let's run it.
what about the decision from Leadville eliminating drop bar mountain bikes?
In my opinion, I think from the little bit that I listened to like Keegan talk about it a little bit, and I think it's the right call. Even though it may be the right bike, nobody can afford that. There's too many changes you have to do to a mountain bike to make it ride like a gravel bike. And he even mentions that. It's too the majority can't afford that. I don't know about the safety thing. I don't. I mean, what I know of Leadville is it's an out and back. You climb a bunch of climbs and you bomb a bunch of descents, and you're at a disgustingly high altitude. Safety,
The
I can't really.
feedback I've heard is that you can do it mostly on a gravel bike.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure you could, but I think it also boils down to I don't think I just don't think the skill set's there with a lot of these people that are at the front of these gravel fields. I don't. That's my
Yeah,
opinion.
no, I don't
I, I,
disagree.
I
But
I think
what's
I
the
think
position for not having the drop bars though? Because
I
I
think
think having the
I
drop
don't know.
bars gives you a lot more control.
Um,
Mm,
not
I
really.
don't know. No.
You're going to be much more stable on those descents on a flat bar than you will on a drop bar. 100%.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have so much more control. If you have so much more control in this position with your hands knuckles out than you do holding the hoods. So much
Well,
more
yeah,
control.
not holding the hoods, but in the drops.
Yeah,
I have
it's
way
just
more control on descents in the drops.
the width of your stance on the
Yeah.
flat bar and the amount of
Yeah. So much more
leverage
control.
and control. Yeah,
You know, and
and
people
I
that
think that's the issue. The descents that are
yeah.
they're one in particular that's
Yeah.
really gnarly,
Yeah.
and it's
The terrain is gnarly on the downhill. Plus, it's two-way traffic. So someone's bombing down a hill at 55 miles an hour, and you got dudes doing literally 6 miles an hour on the way up. If one of them going uphill is cross-eyed and gets out of line and swerves into someone coming downhill, that's game over. Like they were even discussing how they could reroute those certain climbs so there isn't the two-way traffic. I don't know if you can do that. I've never done those races. I never will do those races. So I'm sure there's a lot of different factors that go into it. But you know what? I applaud them for making that decision. I really do, because I'm sure, it's like anything. You're going to make some people happy and you're going to piss some people off. The
It's
bottom
just
line is,
interesting. It's interesting to me. I don't know how much of it is after hearing some of this, and I heard that Keegan was in favor of it, and I kind of
yeah,
heard 2 seconds of him talking, but I didn't really hear any round out of what he was saying. But before that, to me, it smacks of, you know what, this is a mountain bike event, and you're not going to bring your gravel shit in here. And to me, that never goes over well. And it's
yeah. I
kind of
mean,
like, I don't know if you guys remember, but way back in maybe 2010-ish, 2011, maybe 2009, there was a movement in mountain bike racing where they were getting pissed because riders like Ryan Trebone were racing these mountain bike races on cross bikes or on drop bar mountain bikes at the time. And I remember I don't remember this. I want to say maybe it was short track mountain bike events, and the generalities of it may have been that the courses weren't very technical and didn't require the use of mountain bikes, and that you could win them easily on a cross bike, and the cross bike was more efficient. And so you had big names that were hitting the start line on cross bikes, and that just sent that entire community in a massive tizzy. And then they basically, the rider standpoint was, well, then make it harder. The promoter standpoint was, we're just going to outlaw cross bikes and drop bar bikes.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
this
that's
to
the easy
me,
thing to do.
so when I see this from Leadville, it's like flashback, back to that era where it's like, well, we don't like that there's bikes that seem to be better suited to this, and we want it to be traditional, so we're just going to say everybody has to stick to flat bars.
I think, in my opinion, and I think this is just my opinion. I think for what the Lifetime Grand Prix should do, if they're going to insert mountain bike races, do it on a proper mountain bike course. Proper, where flat bar is the only way to do it. Like single track, like 90% of the course, do it that way.
I mean, because they have what, Big Sugar, or not? Well, yeah, they have Big Sugar, right? But
Big Sugar,
I don't know.
Big Sugar's like the most mountain bikey of them all.
Yeah, and then they have Schwamigan, right?
Yeah, but Schwamigan is like
Schwamigan's like, yeah, you could do Schwamigan on a drop bar mountain bike, from what I understand.
Yeah,
you've raced it quite a few times.
I watched somebody's POV from this last Schwamigan, and there's he's at the front of the race, like in within the top 20 the majority of the time. And there's, Daxton Mock, he's ripping a gravel bike. Everyone around him's on a mountain bike, and he's just ripping on a gravel bike. So I don't know. I think if you're gonna incorporate mountain bike events into a series like this, they need to be proper mountain bike courses.
Yeah. But I think the drawback, the reason why they don't, may have something to do with the fact that they're trying to get these gravel riders, where some of them have zero mountain bike skills. I've listened to interviews
More than some of them.
Yeah, I've listened to interviews of some of them basically saying I've never ridden a mountain bike and I had to go do Leadville, and talking about how they had to get used to the bike and this and that. So if they made the mountain bike races in there, like actual mountain bike races, then I think it would definitely change the competitors.
Yeah, I mean, it would do a lot. It would shake up the state. Like you could be in the lead and have an insurmountable points gap, and then get to a mountain bike course that doesn't favor you, and you suck. And guess what? You come out of there in fifth place in points now because you suck at riding a mountain bike. I think if you're going to make it a series that encompasses two different styles of bikes or two different genres of riding, you need to make the courses reflect that.
Yeah. All right. Well,
what do I know? I'm sitting here with a broken fucking thumb, and I'm 50 years old. I'll never.
Dude, that section where you went down, I think, is a section where it's got a really big drop off on both sides. It's like it's an old rail bed.
Crawling out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like an old rail bed, so it's got a huge, build up to it. We lost a rider, Ryan Hanley. You were on that ride, weren't you?
I don't remember.
It was one of our group rides, but we were heading south in that section, and he just had his head down. We were doing like a pace line. He had his head down and just kind of rode off the side of it, and he ended up way down there. And you don't realize it because there's usually a lot of vegetation that's kind of covering up that gap. But he took a big spill, and he ended up having to have some stitches in his face, and it shook him pretty bad, and it shook all of us because we were like, well, how the hell did that happen? He's like, I was looking down, and I just rode off the path.
I remember like tumbling, going, God damn, this is harder than it should be.
Why do I keep going?
And then when I got up, and I grabbed my bike and I was like walking up, I'm like, wow, I fell a long way, and I just threw my bike up onto the path. It's just like, God damn it.
Yeah.
It's always the dumb ones that get you.
Yeah. Yeah. The ones you take for granted. Yeah. Always.
Well, I'm glad it wasn't worse.
Dude, I took a
could always been worse.
There used to be the very long flat section of the path, Fox River Trail, that is just north of the old shop, coming down to now where the Long Meadow Parkway crosses the path. But back then there were like 2 or 3 little dips along it, and I had been riding that for 15 years at that point, and I was riding it one day. And I don't know what happened, but I hit one of those dips, and my hands were kind of like on top of the bars instead of like wrapped around the bars, and just went right off the bars. And I went down, did a roll, ended up in the ditch, same kind of deal. And I remember coming back. It was raining that day. That was the day Jeannie Kuachek ran into me at the shop, and I was all torn up.
Oh yeah.
And she's like, what happened? I was like, I don't really know. I mean, it's the most inane, stupid little thing, the same bump you've hit 1,000 times, and you just hit it the wrong way, the wrong day.
Yeah. I was on a gravel ride a few days ago with Jessica Whiten, and we were, she was behind me, maybe a little too close and didn't see it, but we were riding on a section of the Arizona Trail, the AZT single track. And there was a piece of black pipe, plastic, I think, that was like half buried in the ground, embedded in, and it came across at an angle on the trail. And things were just a little bit wet up there. And she was just riding behind me, and I didn't point it out because honestly, I don't remember even seeing it because there were a few big rocks in front of me, and I was like laser focused on choosing my line between all these rocks. I didn't even notice the pipe. She hit it, and her front wheel just got taken out. She didn't even remember seeing it either. She's like, 1 minute I'm riding, and the next I'm face down in the weeds off to the side of the trail. I stopped because I heard it. I stopped. I turned around and looked, and she was just like sitting there in the grass, kind of like
how'd I end up
kind of
here?
like and
Yeah.
just not going anywhere. I was like, oh shit. I'm like, are you okay? And she's
Yeah.
just like, yeah. She just seemed really confused. She's like, I just didn't even see
Yeah.
it. Just she was on the ground, just like that.
Yeah, that's what happened. I was coming to the right and hit the ice. My bars turned to the left, and I went that way. And I remember I flipped over, and when I kind of flipped onto my back, I was still clipped in.
Jeez.
Oh,
So my bike hit, my feet blew off, and I was just like, you're old and you're fragile, and you make these horrifically funny noises when you crash nowadays. You're like, ah! And you get up and you look around to make sure no one's around and they didn't see you, or
Yeah.
like laughing at the childish noise that just came out of your mouth. And you're like, you get up, you look around, you're like, okay, nobody saw that. And then
Yep.
you assess yourself and you're like, oh, I'm messed up.
It's for laughing because we totally get that.
The last couple of times I've crashed, I've made some pretty
Yeah.
ridiculous noises.
I've done the I usually do like the, oh, here we go, or oh shit,
Yeah.
or I knew this was going to happen, something along
just
those
like,
lines.
just all sorts of fucked up noises.
Actually,
Yeah.
lately when I hit the ground, because it's usually in a cross race or something, I just go, damn it, because it's like I'm doing well.
Yeah,
Oh well.
there is that too, for sure.
All right. Well, we're at where we're at. Thanks for joining us. I know we haven't done one in a while, but thanks for tuning in. Give us a like, give us a share. Thanks for giving us a listen. Give us a review, on whatever system you're listening to us on, because it might help.
Send us some topics. Let us know what you want to talk about.
We did get a topic that we haven't hit that, I don't know why, but I kind of want to save up for this one, but I've been saving up for years.
Right.
And it's about masters doping and kind of the
There's a
look
good
from
one
the
that just came out.
Roadman podcast, about talking about masters doping. So
There's another guy that just got busted. Did you hear about that?
Oh,
Yeah,
probably. I don't know. Maybe.
There's an American dude
Oh,
that
in Europe.
just got busted from for winning the Grand Fondo Worlds.
I
Nice.
heard that. Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah. I watched a podcast on it. These other guys had a conversation about it at length, basically, and they circled back around to it because I watched a follow-up episode, and I think he had a problem with ED, and doctor prescribed testosterone, and it's like, dude, if your doctor's prescribing you testosterone, that's like, you can't race.
Yeah.
Why would you even bother?
Yeah.
But anyway.
And I think,
we should
to bring it
circle
up,
back
that's our
around to it.
general sense. We'll hit that one, especially testosterone replacement. That's an interesting one to talk about, but it's, it's one of those things.
All right. Before we go, Cross Worlds.
Oh yeah, this weekend.
Yeah.
Men, who do you got?
Is that a trick question?
No, give me your podium.
Interpol. I don't know about the rest of the podium. I haven't watched the last few races.
What is wrong with you?
You know what? The last couple races, I was like, "What's going on with Nice?" Because he'd been racing so good this year, and now he's just kind of
pooped the bed.
I would like to see Nice on the podium. I really would.
It depends on which Tebow shows up.
Yeah.
If the physically fit Tebow shows up, that's a good thing. But if the physically fit Tebow shows up, but the Tebow that also looks around way too much shows up, it's game over. Tebow needs to go with Vanderpool when he goes, and just let
sit
Vanderpool
on his
away
wheel
from him,
instead of
being
like,
at the front, trying to
just pull me away to second place, and then when you retire after you win this race, I'll be the dude.
Right.
Yeah.
But
he does way too much playing back in the pack, in the front group, but in the front group behind him.
I think it's
waiting for somebody else to do it.
It'll be Vanderpool, then Vanderpool 2.0, and then probably Tebow.
Yeah.
Vanderpool 2.0 is good.
He's been racing really good.
Yeah.
Which Vanderpool?
Vanderpool.
Oh, Vanderpool.
No. Tibor Del Grasso.
Del Grasso.
Mini Vanderpool.
Vanderpool. So that'll probably be your podium. I'd like to see. I wouldn't mind seeing Vanderput again on the box.
Yeah.
Um, I think the women's
Women.
race is going to be awesome.
Yes.
I
Oh
can't
my
wait to
God.
watch that one. I can't wait to
I
watch
I
that
don't
one.
I don't know what's been going on with Lucinda. Obviously, it's something about her being sick. She had a bad race and then she didn't
Yeah,
race.
yeah.
So,
It's a
man,
long season
and
too.
she's been so flipping dominant, but then Puck has just been just cranking her way back up.
Puck will
Puck is
be
So
on
peaking at the
form.
right time.
Puck
I
Yeah.
Puck
think
is peaking at the right time. Yeah.
I think Puck will do well. She'll probably get it because Hulst is hard. Hulst is a hard course, but I think, and I don't recall if Hulst has a set of barriers just due to the difficulty of the track. I don't remember ever
Hmm.
seeing that. I think they do, but I think Salen's going to give her a run for her money because
Yeah.
she's on her way up too. Um, and if you take the barriers out, if there's no barriers for Puck to hop, I think her and Salen are almost equal. You know, and then Lucinda will, hopefully the good Lucinda shows up and she
I
can
really
fight
hope
for it.
that I hope the good Lucinda.
I
I really want to see her win it
Yeah,
because she's just her heart is so.
yeah,
She's been she's been
yeah,
second place how many years now?
oh yeah.
yeah.
And yeah, I really want to see her
I
get
s-
it, and I love Puck and I love Celine, and
I
Yeah,
stopped
it's going to be a good
watching.
race.
I stopped watching during the curse period when really everybody started coming on. I just
mm,
ran out of time and just wasn't
yeah.
going back and watching it. But how so? Like Zoe had just come back.
Yeah,
How is she doing?
not bad, but
Not there.
not quite.
She's not sharp. She's not sharp.
Uh,
Yeah,
is
But I don't
Vanderheide
think
still doing okay, Inga?
she just came back. I've only recently seen her back at like
hey,
I
she
don't
was
even know if
injured.
she did Mass Macklin. Yeah,
Oh,
she hurt
she hit
herself.
that
Yeah,
night
She hurt
cross.
herself in Degum. She crashed hard
Yeah,
yeah.
in the first quarter.
Bastion.
So I think it was something to do with her back, and I don't even think she was at the last double weekend. I think she only did Hoogerheide. I don't think she did Mass Macklin the day before.
Hmm.
So she'll probably be on the struggle bus. I think there's a lot there. I think there's a lot of. I think the level in both men's and women's side has gone up
Yeah,
considerably
yeah,
since last year, and I think just people are fucking tired.
yeah. No,
Hmm.
at this
And
point, everyone's exhausted.
I think the ones that started their season late
Yeah,
played it
are
perfectly.
done. Really? Oh,
The
started late. Yes, I thought you meant started early. Sorry,
No, I think
my
like Pug
brain
starting
reversed that.
late. She's at her peak right
Yeah,
now. Lucinda, if I'm honest, I think she's fucking tired.
yeah.
You know,
I think she's
um,
way tired.
and there's a lot of guys on the men's side that are tired also, except for fucking Vanderpool.
The the
It's
the
got
men's side this year seemed, at least for what I watched, seemed extremely level. Once you
the
take
well,
Vanderpool out of it.
yes, the even when Vanderpool's in it, he's so far ahead that they're focusing on the race for the podium, and it's been really good. It's been really good. On one hand, you hate to see a guy dominate like Vanderpool, but you have to respect it so
Yeah,
much.
yeah, yeah,
And certainly the sport is going to miss him when he retires. Um, but the racing thereafter is going to be so good because everyone's so equally matched, and there's a young generation coming up. But you know what? I said it to Darcy the other day. It's going to be sad when Vanderpool retires because I don't care that he's 2 minutes ahead. I could just sit there and watch him ride all day.
yeah. It's impressive to
He's
watch.
so goddamn good. He is so good.
Yeah.
It's monotonous watching it, and you make the cheeky jokes before you start. You're like, well, how many laps are we going to go before he goes? And there's been some times where it's like, really, wow, this early. Now I got to watch like 40 minutes of you be off the front.
But it's so
But
good.
yeah, he is so smooth and
It's
just
so
so
good.
good over so many things. It has so much power.
Yeah.
We'll be talking about him for generations, I'm sure.
He could be the best bike rider ever. And when I say that, I mean rider of
Yeah,
all
of
things ever.
everything.
Of
Yeah,
all
mountain
things ever.
bike and yeah, I get it. Yeah, he's good.
Man, wouldn't that be the coolest thing to be called the best bike rider ever?
I don't have to
Ever.
worry about that.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't even have to. I don't. At one point, I was even lucky enough that there was somebody else racing in my zip code, So I was not ranked number 1 in my zip code
Yeah.
in USAC. So,
I don't even think I have the capacity to dream about that.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Well, hey, until 2 years ago, I didn't even know what it was like to win anything. So now I got that going for me.
There you go.
Oh, the new USAC system, because I went in and I re-registered our team and I had to pay some stuff. And the new USAC system has, I don't know, because I'm not as in touch with the USAC side of it anymore. There's been changes, and the points and upgrade system is interesting. And it basically says that I should be upgraded to a 3.
There you go.
I was like, no. When you consider that all of my points have come from only racing in a 50 plus 4.5, and I was right at 50 when I did that, it's kind of like, no, on my best day, I don't, not even remotely a 3. But it's interesting because it recommends that I should be a 3. It doesn't say that I have to be a 3, and I definitely don't have the points to be a 3, but somehow it's going through everything and it's going, yeah, we recommend that you be a 3. Something to that effect. I looked at it and I was like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. And if they force upgrade me, I'm going to be making some phone calls because I ain't a 3.
You're not.
Hey,
I agree.
I'm definitely not a 3.
I'm not. Just.
And to me, that's not even like a someday I wish I was. I'm not a 3. I am physically not a 3.
You're not the only 4 that doesn't want to be that wants to be a 4.
It's not that I don't want to be. Okay, when I finish almost dead last out of all the 4s that are racing in the Masters category, and finish that far back in those races, I haven't raced a straight 4 in God knows how long. And I probably should do 1 this next year just to kind of see where I'm at. But I would be lucky to crack the top half. And if that's the case, then no, I'm not a 3. It's not where it is. There's no question that I never would have won the race that I won if it wasn't a 50 plus 4.5 and it wasn't in Wisconsin with some weirdly soft field for some reason.
I got a goal for you for this year, this cross season. When it comes to the CCC, your goal should be top 20 every Masters race.
In what? In Masters? There's no way.
Yes, there is.
There's absolutely no way. The top 20 are Cat 1s and 2s.
No, they're not.
We have Cat 1. Yeah, they are. Go look at the results. We had one. There are in the 40. In the 45 plus, because a lot of people moved up. It is so top loaded. It is 1s and 2s, I would say, at least through like 25 places.
Okay.
It's nuts.
Top 25.
No. I will go with do better than I did last year. That's my goal. I want to do better than I did last year. And I would have beat more people than I beat last year.
You're afraid. What are you afraid of?
Oh, I'm just afraid of having another shitty year.
Leah, am I wrong?
Getting hurt like I did this last time. That sucked.
No, I agree with you, Tim. I think he needs to set a bit higher goal.
Set a goal. Just set a goal.
Nobody set a goal of training. Okay?
No. Well, if you set a goal, guess what? You'll have to train.
All right. So anyway, thanks for joining us, guys. It's been a good episode. We should do this again sometime.
I tried.
All right. Well, if you have any questions, send us an email at roadisdead, all one word, roadisdead@gmail.com. Send us some questions there. We'll always go over and read them or do whatever. So apart from that, go buy some buttonhole chamois cream. I apologize. We're out of no tingle at the moment. That's a supply issue. We're trying to rectify that, and I'm getting calls about it nonstop. So we'll get her taken care of. But go get your tingle. Go to your area local retailer and ask for it by name. And go to treadsavvy.com. Actually sold some cross tires off of there, an hour or two ago. They're ready for pickup here today. So actually the door just slammed. So UPS literally just picked them up and they're on their way. So get that done. We do have some road tires out there. I got a special on some road tires. And then I have some gravel tires that I got to get on there. So we will be blending in other tires as we go. So I'm only throwing on quality tires that I would use myself, and only throwing on stuff that I can get a deal on, that you're not going to find necessarily cheaper anywhere else online. So that's kind of the methodology of it. That's why I'm not carrying the big names, some of the big names like Continental, because everyone, excuse the expression, whores out Continental. So, there's absolutely no reason to carry them. So if you're a big Continental fan, hey, there's a billion places you can buy them online. But all right, well, thanks for joining us. If you have any questions, let us know. Other than that, thanks for joining us and enjoy the ride.